In today's video, I will cover all of the degen altcoin opportunities you need to watch for this summer. This isn't your typical portfolio video going over Bitcoin, Ethereum, and blue chip altcoins and buying and holding them. So let me just put this out there. These are all short-term trade opportunities or new tokens that haven't launched yet. And none of these are going to go into my long-term portfolio. My view on altcoin season and how easy altcoin season hasn't started has not changed yet. For that to happen, you need to wait for Bitcoin dominance to top out. So this video is only meant for short-term traders, and we're doing this as a live stream. So you guys get the direct signals right now. So please understand these before going into this video. If you are not a crypto degen and you are not trading actively, and you only want to buy a coin and hold, none of these will apply to you. Just click off of this video right now. And also, we are doing this live, so they are up to date right now, but these opportunities come and go within the week. So if you're watching this and some of these have already passed by the time you watch it, don't come at me mad. This is just how it works. So don't hold any of these as long-term investments. You get in, you get out with a few X's, put the profits back into Bitcoin. That's the way to go. But with all that being said, there is still a place for degen opportunities as a lot of things are happening on chain right now. So this video, this live stream is going to be talking all about this sector. Okay, before we get started, this video today is sponsored by Crypto.com. So Crypto.com is the most widely regulated and compliant crypto exchange out there. They're directly accessible in the US, in Canada, and most places across the world. And these come from official licenses. The Crypto.com exchange is focused on spot trading for long-term holders. So it's actually quite beginner friendly. However, this isn't the same as their main retail app. They do have their Crypto.com advanced exchange, which offers the full trading suite just like Binance and all other exchanges. On top of that, they also have one of the largest altcoin selections with 418 coins available right now. This is way higher than most of the other exchanges that are licensed in the US. So if you're a altcoin investor, you can find most coins on here with a completely compliant app. So I've been using their retail app for 6 years now, and you might have it downloaded at some point before. It only takes 1 second to connect the app with the advanced exchange, and transfers are free. So if you're looking for a compliant, regulated exchange in the US, in Canada, or in most places across the world, check out Crypto.com with the first link in the description. Okay, let's get straight into it with today's planned alpha. So we are going to be focusing on the 5 sectors that I have always talked about over the past 2 years. So AI, RWA, gaming, meme coins, and some infra. In this case, we're talking about some revenue generating decentralized exchanges and perpetual exchanges. Okay, so let's get started first with the AI infra. Now, you guys know that I hold Bittensor, and I hold a lot of Bittensor, have been holding it for over 2 years now. There are a ton of very established AI projects that are coming up. So all of these are going to be honestly quite overinflated in valuation already, but AI coins pump. That's very simple. So Silicon Valley investors are very, very open to investing into AI. I don't know why this isn't loading. I have too many tabs. Let me just let it load. But there are basically like over 10 of these layer 1, layer 0 type of infra that's targeting as competitors to Bittensor. That's going to be coming up, and they haven't announced their tokens yet. So I'm not an AI expert, so I'm not going to try to compare and contrast which one's the best. All I know is that these are very popular. All of them have raised huge amounts of money from traditional tech investors as well to compete with Bittensor, and they haven't dropped tokens. And chances are some of these will be doing community rounds, things that you can get into, maybe airdrops. So you should follow all of these. And by the time they launch, these could be good opportunities. So here's the list. So we have Jensen, we have News Research, they have their protocol is called Psyche. This is a decentralized AI model training network that takes advantage of distributed GPUs. We have Sentient AGI. This is very closely related to the Polygon team. We have Sahara AI. I just invested in the community round of this project last week. These guys are heavily backed by Binance, and they're going to be doing TGE quite soon. We have GaiaNet. This is a lot of the Bybit guys have invested in this. Bybit and Mirana Ventures, etc. Another infra project for AI. We have RitualNet. We have Zero G Labs. You might have heard of this. They have one of the largest fundraise ever in crypto. Has been built up so much hype over the past 2 years, but just hasn't launched their token yet. We have Gradient Network. This is a similar type of project to Grass, which got a lot of traction for their airdrop campaign by allowing people to install extensions and get points to qualify for the airdrop. So they have a large user base. And then lastly, we have Allure Network. This is something that I did put an angel check-in about 2 years ago, still just waiting on them to drop. So I don't have a preference on any of these, to be honest. I think they're all, they all have huge backers, either from TradFi or from just directly crypto giants like Binance. And all of them should have high valuations. So if you can get into them at a relatively lower valuation, 100, 200 million, something in community rounds, try to do those. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying you should be buying these on public launch, because usually these will be like over 1 billion valuation already. But nonetheless, you should follow all of these, turn on notifications when they drop anything. And lastly, if you're looking for these type of infra projects, there are 2 platforms I recommend you guys to sign up. They are Echo and Legion. So these 2 are actually semi-public / private sale platforms, similar to CoinList, but they have way better projects. And they do vet their investor base a bit, but as long as you have some experience, whether that's on-chain trading, socials, or developer experience, you can try to apply and get an account on these. And I have seen some really good deal flow coming in to these 2 platforms. So check them out. Not affiliated, not sponsored at all. I just do a ton of investing as angels in these 2 platforms. Okay, so that's the super established, AI coin infra place. Now, in the other side of AI coins, we have AI agent coins, and I would like to group them together with meme coins. So today, basically, all AI agent coins are semi-meme coins. And there is a wave of really low market cap on-chain launches for AI agent coins that's brewing right now. This all started when Virtuals, the #1 launchpad for AI agents, started doing these type of Genesis launches, where essentially they have super low market cap, under 220,000 fully diluted market cap for these vetted launches. And these are only accessible to Virtuals, they call virgin point holders. So the most recent one is this Iris one, and it's actually pretty crazy. Ethereum official X account tweeted about this when Virtuals had the first AI agent launch on Ethereum. I don't know how they got them to do this. It's pretty crazy. The agent is also built by Nethermind, which is one of the core developer teams behind one of the largest, most widely used Ethereum clients. So very interesting stuff, but nonetheless, I'm not here to shield this token, but just to show you the potential of these launches. So this coin, for people that had enough Virtuals virgin points, people got in at 220K market cap, and this coin peaked at over 100 million market cap. 120 is where people saw within the first hour. So people did a 600x on this. And this led to a bunch of literally very small traders on chain that pledged $2.50, ending up with over $1,000. So this is a trend that's happening. And to be honest, this is quite nice for degens and only degens. Basically, you don't need any money. Like if you yap a lot for these platforms, or if you stake on these platforms, you just know how to get into these super low market cap sales. You basically have no risk because you're pledging like $2. And yeah, it's just the market cap are so low. So basically, it's like free airdrop. So I wouldn't say it's very easy to get into these virtuals launches anymore because everyone's talking about this already. There are two other platforms that are doing very similar and are very established. So the first one is CreatorBid. I have talked about this project before. I actually invested in their seed round from about a year and a half ago. And I talked about them before they even launched their token. Their token is live, so they were one of the first to get a slot on a Bittensor subnet, which we'll talk about in a bit. But they now have a similar way where you can get into the CreatorBid pre-sales at these like Genesis launches at 100K fully diluted market cap. So I don't know the full mechanisms of this yet, but I recommend you guys to go check out my friend Gorilla's video going over this whole process in depth. I haven't watched this yet, but I plan to do so today. So very similar concept to virtuals. And they are launching these types of sales at CreatorBid V2, which is happening in a couple of weeks. The other platform that's actively doing this is Seedify. So Seedify is one of the longest running launchpads ever in crypto and still profitable, still has a vibing community. And they have a very similar concept here as well. So they just incubated their first mimetic AI agent, half meme coin, half AI agent coin. And this is starting at 100K market cap also. And very similar concept. You can either stake S Fund, Seedify Fund token, or you can yap and climb the leaderboard for part of the allocation. And literally like 100K market cap, you can't lose money, right? But you will get very small allocation depending on how much you have. So I do have some S Fund tokens staked, and I will be participating in this one. I don't know how it will do, if it will be better than the virtuals Genesis launches or worse. I don't know. But at these valuations, it's basically like airdrops. So very interesting stuff. This is a pretty healthy trend, in my opinion. It's so low that there is basically no risk. And if you have a lot of time, especially, you should be looking into this sector from these launchpads that have established themselves for multiple years, because you know that they have good quality, and at least these are going to actually launch liquidity pools and make a push after TGE. Okay, so these are some of the real degen stuff on AI agents and covering meme coins as well. I'm not touching any other like, pump fund memes, like Solana memes, whatnot. I don't think that wave is easy to play at all yet. I'm only doing these super low market cap launchpad sales. Okay, the last sector, subsector within AI is Bittensor Subnets. So you guys know I'm a big fan of Bittensor, have held it since forever. Bittensor Subnets are definitely underlooked right now. People don't know that you can trade tokens on the Bittensor layer 1, and there are places where Bittensor can be connecting to an EVM. So CreatorBid, they have formed this thing called the Tau Council, and they have plenty of other Bittensor subnet projects that have joined. This is one way you can just gain exposure if you have CreatorBid. Another project that I have invested and talked about before is Inference Labs. They were one of the first to secure a Bittensor subnet as well, I believe within the first 10. More recently, we are already pushing subnet 65 on Bittensor. And this platform I talked about, I believe like 2 live streams ago, called Taufu. This is a subnet launchpad that allow people to actually put their Tau tokens to work by contributing to a Tau-based subnet token sale. So they raised 800 Tau for this subnet number 65. This is very similar to, ironically, Polkadot Parachain early days. And Bittensor believe it or not, is actually based on Substrate stack, which is the technology stack of Polkadot. So these subnets and their structure is very similar to Polkadot parachains in my mind. And I don't know if this is the best technology approach, but if you look at the early days of Polkadot, if you got into all the first few Polkadot parachains, those all did really well. So you want to try to get exposure to these, and people don't know that you can trade, you can commit your Tau to subnet token sales, and you can trade these tokens. So check out this platform. They just did the subnet sale for subnet 65 for Bittensor on top of Bittensor, and you can trade this already. It's not even integrated anywhere else yet. You can only trade it on their website. So that's a bit of alpha for you. And the valuations are really low. It's a actually open sale. Anyone can contribute as long as you know how to use Bittensor and you have a wallet. And the market caps are very low. I believe under 4 million and they sold like 50% of the tokens. So definitely an underlooked area. If you hear of those metrics, you would know. You will not find that anywhere else on Base, on Solana, on Avax, on the established places. Okay, so that's all of the alpha around AI. Next up, let's talk about RWA. So within RWA, if you just want to buy and hold, there are only a few infra providers that are worth it in valuation to revenue metrics, to PSP ratios. So I'm a big fan of Chintai, CHEX. Great coin, has been slowly ranging up since we talked about it right after a lot of people capitulated in April to May. Pushing new highs, just got a Kraken listing, pretty nice. Two others that are doing quite well. So Clearpool, we have covered this a lot on X over the past year. Still quite healthy and holding way above bear market low levels. And then you have Maple Finance. This is quite a runner that honestly I did not expect. Over the past 2 months, this has been up 5x. I don't know what's happening here, but this is one of the only few RWA coins that has made a run. Pretty interesting. So I will only do these mid-cap RWA coins that are doing infra, and especially you got to look at market cap compared to FDV. You want a really healthy ratio. I really don't like Ondo anymore after what happened with Mantra. It's just, you never know what's going to happen there. You don't know when people are going to be doing weird deals with their locked tokens. Yeah, it's just too iffy. So I only want to touch these like mid-tier market cap RWA projects with market cap compared to FDV at a super healthy ratio. So Chintai is my favorite so far. Okay, but beyond that, RWA is no longer just about building a layer 1 for RWA and for tokenizing, bringing assets on chain, issuing ERC20 token. That's super basic. Today, RWAs are really branching out to two sub-narratives. So you have the publicly traded companies narrative, very weird, but it's actually being led by Nasdaq. I talked about this on my last live stream from last week. So just to give you some of the latest news around this, Tron is going public with the help of Eric Trump. So Eric Trump is coming on as an advisor to Justin Sun's Tron group, and they're doing a reverse merger with a Nasdaq traded company to actually go public in the US. Pretty crazy, right? And last week I talked about this project called Mixi. So they just got acquired by one of the publicly traded companies on the Nasdaq as well, called Net Capital. This is a fundraising capital project that has deep crypto background as well. One of the core advisors and co-founders is a co-founder of Helium. The other core advisor is Tim Draper. And Mixi's CEO is Matt Morgan. So he just joined this Net Capital publicly listed company. And he is actually an advisor to World Liberty Financial. So World Liberty, if you guys don't know, is this project. It's the Trump DeFi company. Officially, Eric Trump and who's the other? Donald Trump Jr. They are the co-founders of this project. And I don't know if this is public knowledge yet, but World Liberty did a public sale last year for their token. And this token will be tradable. And the deadline is about 12 months after the public sale ended in October of last year. So by October of this year is roughly where people are speculating that this WLF token will become publicly, not publicly traded, tradable on crypto exchanges. And the valuation of this will be insane. From what I've heard, it will be trading above 10 to 15 billion out the gate. But when you compare the valuation of this to the Trump meme coin, which peaked at 70 billion FDV, that's actually kind of low because this is a utility project that's backed and co-founded by Trump company and Trump's family members directly. Whereas the Trump meme coin is a meme. It's like a one-time commemorative thing. So this is going to make some huge waves. And this all ties together, right? Because anything that has to do with World Liberty, with who is partnering with World Liberty to either get, these treasury deals with World Liberty, with the Trump family, with Trump family office, or if they're doing like reverse mergers onto the Nasdaq and then doing some sort of, advisory deal with World Liberty. I don't know. The structures are all very weird, but any projects that have connections in this sphere will get a lot of eyeballs by the time World Liberty launches, which is only going to be like 3-4 months away. So this is why I'm actually like pretty interested in what they're going to do at Mixi as well. So I have been talking with the Mixi team and I've asked them, okay, like your CEO's core advisor to World Liberty, what are you guys going to do? Are you going to be integrating, the USD1 stablecoin or WLF in some way? They said nothing is confirmed yet, but if they do anything like this, it'll be pretty massive, to be honest. Because so far, no other, I wouldn't say no other, but most crypto projects have only been doing like treasury swaps with WLF on chain. So basically the crypto companies, they would buy World Liberty tokens OTC, and then World Liberty would buy up their tokens as well and put it on chain. This is like kind of public knowledge because otherwise, like, how do they do it? And it's like half marketing, but they never really get more exposure after that. If something integrates with USD1 very closely or with WLF very closely, you got to pay attention to those. So I don't know if Mixi is the one for this, but I do know this is going to be what a lot of people are going to be talking about over the next quarter, is anything to gain beta access, to gain exposure to the upcoming launch of WLF is going to be very popular. So I don't know what that's going to look like. I feel like every other like advisor to the World Liberty project will be launching some sort of coin, most likely, and then like try to take advantage of this wave, and those will all be quite popular. Okay, completely degen. Again, if you don't understand what I mean to say here, like just skip this part, but World Liberty is going to be insane. It's going to suck up all the liquidity. If you remember how crazy Trump meme got, by the time WLF launches, this will be like at least twice as crazy, because it should reach higher than the Trump meme coin, which is insane. Like, let's say it goes to like 100 billion, which is totally insane. Everyone's going to be losing their minds over this. But rightly so, because this is literally like the president's family DeFi project. Like, what kind of timeline we're living in, I don't know, but this is it. So, okay. So that's the first sector of RWAs, which is like TradFi to DeFi. You got to watch out for anything integrating WLF and USD1. And let's go a little bit deeper into USD1. So USD1 is officially the name is called World Liberty Financial Stablecoin USD. This is currently at 2 billion FDV. Now, it's not the one of I believe it's the number 5th largest market cap in stablecoin, behind USDT, USDC, DAI, and something else. I believe it's behind Ethena still, USDE. But this is going to grow massive. Why? Because it's actually like a very macro problem, because the US has a huge problem around their debt maturity wall. Who is going to buy US treasuries? And one of the largest holders of US treasuries is actually Tether. So Tether, I believe, is the number 5 largest treasury holder entity in the world. It's even above like most countries. I believe it's behind. It's got to be behind Japan, behind China, behind US themselves, but ahead of most countries that holds more US treasuries. Now the US has a huge treasury problem. They need companies, they need entities to buy and hold US treasuries. So that's why whatever they can do in types of deals, they really like to push stablecoins, especially for any stablecoin companies that want to buy treasuries. They will get all the regulatory green light that they want. So this is why I believe the USD1 stablecoin is going to grow massive in FDV, because like this is Trump official, first of all, and second, they will want to grow this as much as possible so that they can use it to help alleviate the treasury debt problem. So you're starting to see some of the regulatory clarity come in for this. You might have heard of this thing called the Genius Act that's being pushed very aggressively from the US Senate, from the US House. This is a framework specifically to regulate stablecoins, to give a framework for any issuers to issue completely regulated USD stablecoins. How much backing should it have? What can it do? What can it not do? And this is going to be bringing a lot more stablecoin companies and issuers. And so far, Circle has already gone public, okay, with the parent company of USDC. You have Maker, which is the parent organization of the DAI stablecoin. You can invest in those two already. They're quite big. I think Maker is a pretty good bet right here. In terms of publicly available coins, you also have Ethena, you have Pendo. So these are all good bets on the stablecoin narrative, although Ethena is already at 2 billion FDV. Pendo is a yield market. It's technically not a stablecoin issuer. Something very interesting that's just that caught a lot of people's attention on Twitter recently is this thing called Plasma. So this is one among two infra layers that Tether has heavily backed. I don't know which one's going to be like the official Tether chain, but it does look like Tether wants to build some sort of layer 1 chain that has a governance token for it. So this company, Stable, is also heavily backed by Bitfinex and USDT-O, which is the cross-chain version of Tether. And Plasma is also backed by Bitfinex and pushed a lot by Paolo Arduino, who is the co-founder and CTO of Tether. So these guys are crazy. They have a public sale that I put a little bit into, not too much because it's heavily oversubscribed. But they are selling 10% of the supply at 500 million FDV. Even at these valuations, I think this will be much higher. Just think about like Ethena, right? For example, Ethena is at 2 billion as a governance token. And at its peak, Ethena was over, what is the valuation here? Like over nearly 10 billion valuation. Pretty nuts, right? And USDE is nowhere near the market cap of Tether. It's like 1/50th of the market cap of Tether. If Tether comes out and officially embraces one of these chains as the so-called like Tether chain, and this governance token is the governance token of Tether, that's going to be insane. So I don't know if this is the one, but a lot of people put money into this sale because they speculate that, you know, it'll be similar to that. This is an opportunity for sure. So they still have this open. If you find an opportunity to contribute into this vault over the next couple of weeks, I think this could yield good returns. I have money in here as well. This is a public sale. This is not a private run or anything like that. But I'm showing you this partly because it's very interesting if Tether commits to this fully or not, but also just because stablecoins are getting a huge wave. There are so much money that's ready to invest into these stablecoin issuing infrastructure projects. So aside from like speculating, who Tether is going to support, there are some other interesting on-chain yield vehicles for stablecoins. Jeff from Spartan, he has a good piece talking about some of the on-chain native yields for stablecoins. So Ethena, for example, does on-chain arbitrage between DEXs and centralized exchanges for funding rates so that it offers those high yield as a stablecoin vehicle. Now, another sector that has a lot of yield that's ready to be harvested is with AI, is with DePIN. And there are some really cool projects that are building AI vault yields that are wrapped around a stablecoin. So two projects that I'm watching right now. First one is called Matrix. They are basically their launchpad for AI yield-based stablecoins. A lot of buzzwords put together, but it's just what it is. Don't think about it too much. AI, stablecoins, one of the core narratives that's going to be quite popular coming up. And at its core, this is basically RWA. Okay, DePIN AI-powered stablecoins. Another one, USD AI. This is very similar. So stablecoins that's powered by DePIN, powered by data centers, powered by the demand in AI, generating yield for stablecoins as a wrapper. And the last project that I saw more recently, I haven't seen anyone really cover, is called M0. So these guys have a lot of cool partnerships. They're partnered with Unichain, for example, for the chain for Uniswap. So these guys specifically offer a product where they put US treasuries into a vault and offer a programmable layer for anyone to issue stablecoins and tap into the treasury yield there. So for example, if I want to make a, like Bacon USD, whatever, I can partner with them. I can issue my white labeled version of a USD that has treasury yield built in that anyone can access on chain. Mint, burn, trade with on chain. That's the infra of M0. Pretty interesting. They don't have a governance token yet. I don't know if they will have one, but I'm also subscribed to all their socials just in case they do. They come out with anything. So I think all of these are interesting. If you're able to get into anything that Tether touches, those are going to be really good. Otherwise, try to go for some really DeFi native stablecoin issuers, especially tapping into AI or RWAs. That's going to be a big wave. So yeah, I think that's definitely worth paying attention to right now. Okay, so those are all of the RWA related narrative plays. Now, let's get into gaming. So within gaming, there is one place you need to watch, and that's Blackhole. So for those of you guys that haven't been following, so Blackhole is the solidly based exchange on-chain DEX that's soon going to be launching on Avax, and it's built by the Superverse team. Now, I personally bought a supermassive VE NFT, which is locked forever, and it doesn't give me any tokens. I cannot sell any tokens from this. It's completely locked indefinitely, and I only make money from this project being successful and from getting a share of the decentralized exchange fees. This is a very similar model to Aerodrome on Base and Shadow Exchange on Sonic. So both of these projects had heavy push from their parent chains. So Aerodrome had a ton of push from Base, and Shadow is the main DEX that's pushed by Sonic. So when these two ecosystems got popular, most of the trading volume flooded to both of these exchanges, and that led to a lot of trading fees and a lot of projects launching on there, people locking up their tokens, positive feedback loop. And that's why you see Aerodrome's price action holding up very well over the past, what is this, like 15 months already. It has held over over 1 billion valuation over the past year. Pretty impressive for a DEX. And Shadow at its peak was over 1 billion FDV. Right now is still at 250 million FDV. But the really cool part here is everyone is super willing to lock up their tokens here because they don't have to dump their token. Instead, as long as they're bullish on the Sonic ecosystem and they trade other coins on Sonic anyways, they lock up their tokens and they make just as much from fees. So this is a model that's actually quite long-term sustainable because you don't issue tokens as farming rewards for people to dump on forever. Early investors, they only get profit and they are only in the green by introducing more projects and bringing more attention to the exchange, and they get a percentage of the fee share. So it's actually much more sustainable for the token itself. And that's why you see the market cap, even though the market cap to FDV is such a big difference, that's because majority of the supply of Shadow is locked up for very, very long time. And similarly for Aero, like over half of the supply is locked up. So Blackhole, very similar concept, and they have direct support from the Avax Foundation, where we are already seeing most of the gaming projects migrating their liquidity from other exchanges onto Blackhole. So we have, for example, Bloodloop, we have Xborg, we have Avax Lambo, all migrating to Blackhole. And that's only part of the equation, right? The other part is you need to have trading activity being popular on Avax. So remember, when Shadow made this like 20x move up, this was all because people were actively farming and trading on Sonic back in February. So if you remember things like Metropolis DEX, the eggs algorithmic stablecoin, they had the goggles meme coin. These were all officially backed by, supported at least by the Sonic team. And people were trading these, farming them. And that led to a lot of fee growth for Shadow. And that's why Shadow had a huge run. So I shared one of these charts. I really didn't want to share the ticker on X. But this was 30 million, and I wish I had bought this because this Avax Lambo somehow is at 50 million FDV now. And there's another one that was honestly hugely popular just this week. Wife Changing Money, complete meme coin on Avax. Daniel Sesta, the co-founder, the creator of WAGME, of Wonderland 5 from last cycle, and Hey Anon, large projects, huge projects. He's officially backing these, and so are a lot of the Avax ecosystem teams. So basically, they're running back the same Sonic season like DGen wave. You really don't have to try to buy these coins. I don't hold any Lambo. I don't hold any Wife. But if you look at the trending coins on Avax, like these things are pretty nuts. This one launched on Arena Trade, and apparently it went from like a public sale of under 1 million to like 4 million in 30 minutes, and then it peaked out over 15. I don't know what's happening, honestly, but there is a meme season happening on Avax. So what I'm trying to say here is you can try to play the memes on Avax. Maybe you'll win. I'm personally not doing it. I'm just going to be farming on Blackhole because the more people that trade these Avax meme coins And the more people, launch new meme coins on Avax, algorithmic stables, high APY farms, those are not going to be that sustainable, but it's going to be bringing huge amount of traction and volume onto Avax. And all of those action are going to be happening with liquidity pools on Blackhole, which will be feeding into more people locking up Black tokens for the farms. And you can either eat by just locking and staking your Black, or you can, speculate on Black directly. I think both of those are much safer than, trying to play these memes. And this is still early, honestly, because the Blackhole DEX hasn't even launched yet. So 2 things you should take away from this. Number 1, if you have Superverse tokens, you should stake it, because you probably can still qualify for some Black token airdrop. 2, you should check out the Blackhole testnet. There are some airdrop allocations, I believe, there as well. Join the Discord. You should definitely have some funds ready on Avax. And I had one more. Right. So Blackhole will be having Genesis pool launches. So this is a way for new projects to launch their LP on the Blackhole DEX. And it's very similar to Shadow. So Shadow had these Genesis pool, Genesis farms as well, where the farms are heavily boosted. So completely risk-free when I participated in the Shadow Genesis pools. All I needed to do was deposit Sonic S token, Shadow token, USDC into the LP pairs. And then I get the project tokens at like crazy high APY, like 5,000% APY. And I can sell the tokens right after the LP pools get migrated. Yeah, so they're running back the same playbook. So you should definitely study up Blackhole project, wait for the Genesis pool launches, wait for the farming pools to open. I don't think you need to ape any meme coins at the moment, but just know that there's going to be a major Avax season coming up, and it's going to be focused on gaming as well. Most of the Avax top projects are gaming, and they're all going to be migrating their liquidity together to make a push for it. Okay, so that's gaming, all concentrated on Blackhole, all concentrated on Avax using their technology. 2 other decentralized exchange sectors that's interesting. So Saros, this is as far as I know, the only competitor to Jupiter and Meteora. So Jupiter and Meteora have had a monopoly on the Solana decentralized exchange field. If you guys don't know, Meteora has this thing called DLMM, Dynamic Liquidity Pool. So all of the major Solana meme coin launches, Trump, Melania, the Argentina coin, every single Solana coin that's launched as a decentralized exchange coin uses Meteora liquidity pool. Until just recently, Saros actually built their own DLMM in partnership with Trader Joe. So Trader Joe actually has a much more OG original version of DLMM that they built back on Avax. This actually predates Jupiter and Meteora. So this just launched on Saros on Solana, and you can go ahead and check it out right here. DLMM.saros.xyz. There hasn't been that many pools on here yet, but essentially how it works is exact same way as Meteora DLMM. You can create very simple bucket-based pools for LPs. So this allows easy market making on-chain, just like Meteora. And this is interesting because Meteora and Jupiter charge crazy amounts of fees. And Meteora hasn't dropped their tokens yet, but there is a points program for MET. And by the time Meteora drops this coin, it's going to be like, again, a huge extraction event. Because to be honest, Jupiter and Meteora team, they're kind of scammy. Like their coins are super, super heavily overvalued. And they keep just launching these, like, what the hell is Melania, right? And why is it still being pushed on here? And how are you supposed to like, you know, kind of help the Argentina coin launch and then not worry about it at all? It's just being the infra provider. Like what's the, I don't know if them having such a large market share of the Solana DEX field is a good thing. And that's why I really like Saros, because they have built effectively everything to compete. They have aggregator, they have V2, typical LP, and now they have DLMM. So soon they're going to be launching the official meme called Ratty as a free airdrop just for everyone that stakes Saros. So if you have Saros, make sure that you're staked. And this is similar to when Jupiter launched their official meme coin called When. But in that case, they actually did a public sale for When, whereas for Ratty, it's free airdrop. So I like that part as well. Yeah, and just Saros, the coin itself, has been holding quite well over the past month, right? Just slow and steady. Not much more to say about it. I really hope these guys can make a run for it and take up some of the market share of Jupiter and Meteora. I think it's time. So yeah, that's why I hold Saros. I'm actively watching which pools are being made on the Saros DLMM. This is like effectively early days of Meteora. And if you're early on Meteora, you would have gotten into a lot of different coins. Some of the most trending coins on Solana very early. Okay, last but not least, Hyperliquid. Why is Hyperliquid at a $45 billion FDV, first of all? And nobody should be buying Hyperliquid at 45 billion FDV. Why would you do that? I'm just going to say that, okay? I'm not interested in this at all. However, the larger market cap that Hyperliquid runs, I think this has got to be somewhat manipulated at this point. The higher this goes, the more interest there's going to be for similar projects that have points programs as a perpetual exchange. So there are two that I'm actively farming. I don't want to give away too much of the alpha, but there is Aster, which is backed only by Binance, and CZ directly shows this. As far as I know, this is like basically Binance's baby DEX, perp DEX. This only launched after Hyperliquid got super popular, and CZ kind of, you know, wanted to take them down in a way. And this is the on the front page of CoinMarketCap. So CoinMarketCap is owned by Binance, and CoinMarketCap actually has a tab called CMC Launch, just made for this Aster project. So this is basically Binance perp DEX without saying it. So you can farm points on here to get the airdrop. And the other one is called Lighter. I'm farming this. This is still not as heavily over farmed. But yeah, this is, I believe this is a good beta play to Hyperliquid. No matter, you know, how high or how low this gets, there's no way that it's going to be a worse opportunity than like buying Hyperliquid at 45 billion FDV. So I'm just going to put it that way. An interesting account I recommend you guys to follow is this guy called Han Solar. So he made this tracker called Perpetual Pulse, which effectively compares everything with Hyperliquid, all the perpetual decentralized exchanges, comparing them by volume, by TVL, by open interest to see, you know, how much of, you know, how big of a percentage of market share do they have compared to Hyperliquid, and thus, if they do an airdrop, you know, what we can expect from those token valuations. So you can find Aster, Lighter, and all of the others on here as well. Yeah, there's really nothing to buy here. If you know how to farm, and if you farmed Hyperliquid before, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't done it before, it might be too advanced for you, so maybe skip this part, okay? All right, but yeah, don't buy Hyperliquid at 45 billion FDV. What are you doing? That's crazy. Yeah, honestly, not really anything else here. We have covered a lot already, so we'll end it there. Thank you guys for joining the live stream. I'm gonna leave timestamps to everything. This is a big piece. Hopefully these alpha will be still applicable for the next couple months to come. I'm not going to be like talking about, Degen Alpha so often anymore, maybe every once a month at best, just because, they're going to be like very time sensitive. So again, make sure to follow me on Twitter or X at VirtualBacon0x if you want these as tweet style day to day. And subscribe to the channel, share this video with a friend if you find it helpful. Thank you guys for joining, and I will see you on the next video and the next live stream.